Now that we have a plan and we know what to buy, we need to find out where to buy it, for which we need to learn how to find the best property markets in Australia. This is the median sales price graph of a real market in Australia for the last 40 years. So when would you rather have bought? During one of these red periods or one of these green periods? You would probably all agree that it's better to buy in the green periods before a boom and not in the red periods after a boom. However, it's baffling to me that most people, including other buyers agents, will look at the last few years of a performance of a market to determine what the market will do in the next few years. And that is a recipe for buying high and selling low. That's literally how amateur stock traders lose money. The reason so many people do this is because they don't have the tools and knowledge to look into the type of data that will tell them what these markets will do in the future. Wayne Gretzky, ice hockey legend and Hall of Famer, once said about his secret to success: I skate to where the puck is going to be, not to where it has been. Okay, so how do you know where the market is going to be? In general terms, the main thing you want to do is to identify locations with high demand and low supply. And what this means is a lot of people wanting to buy property and not a lot of people wanting to sell their properties. And this will inevitably translate in property price growth. Then what you want to do is have a look at the three main underlying drivers of property market demand, which are lifestyle, affordability, and jobs. And literally 95% of the reasons people relocate in Australia is directly or indirectly related to one of these three. Now let's go with the first one, which is lifestyle, which is pretty self-explanatory. Do people actually want to live there? And this is not whether you want to live there because you're different to everybody else, but are there a lot of people out there seeking that particular lifestyle? And then we have affordability, which is areas with low property prices relative to salaries. And you can think, hey, but Sydney salaries are double as much as those in location B. But if Sydney property prices are 4 times as high as those in location B, the affordability for property in Sydney would actually be half as that in location B. And the third one is jobs. So basically what you want to see is unemployment decreasing, salaries increasing, and a high expenditure per capita in projects such as infrastructure, industries, and other projects. And apart from these main things, there's a stack of other smaller things that we also check. And here's the stack. And to apply all of this, you will need data and technology. So this step is literally impossible for anybody to do on their own. You need a whole team and you need a lot of resources. First of all, you will have to have access to a whole bunch of data relevant to the stuff that we just discussed, and you'll have to know which is the right data to choose from. In our team, we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every year just in purchasing data alone. The next thing is technology. So once you have the right relevant data, you'll have to know how to interpret it. And then you'll need a team of data engineers and data scientists to translate that into a model that will tell you whether or not to buy in an area. Most buyer's agents will tell you to only buy in capitals because that might be the only thing they know, which sucks because of the lower rental yields, or they tell you to do only in renovations, which require extra cash, time, and effort. And the reason they do this is because they don't have a reliable, data-driven way of picking great growth locations. Which, to be fair, if you don't have a reliable way to pick high growth locations, those other things might be the second best thing to do. However, we do have that ability. For example, our client Rob leveraged our team to do this exact thing. We got him a property back in Feb 2022 for $430,000. And in February 2024, only 2 years later, it was valued at $657,000. That's a 53% growth in just 2 years. That is a bit more than 26% yearly growth, which is quite remarkable knowing that the Australian average is around the 6% historically, and the best performing suburbs in capital historically don't average more than 8%. And you can imagine how little Rob cared about a little negative cash flow when interest rates went up, when it only cost him $93,000 cash to get into the property, and it grew by $227,000 in just 2 years. Now, you're probably thinking that this is too good to be true or that luck must be a high component of this. And while not everybody achieves Rob's results, our average is still really outstanding. The truth is that we have significantly outperformed same state capitals across all states and all years 100% of the time, and we have significantly outperformed same state regionals over 90% of the time. So for example, in the last 2 years when capitals were going backwards, we were achieving double-digit yearly growth in most of our locations. So you can either grab all you've learned here and go try it yourself, or you can leverage our data and tech team on which we have spent millions of dollars in research and go straight to the jackpot.